Hello and welcome. This video is a special video because it's honoring a civic tradition rather than a church tradition. And it's in honor of Pride Month. This is the month where we celebrate the many diverse gender identities and sexualities that exist in the human spectrum. And this is an issue where church and church folk have had a sad history of cruelty, being unloving, and oppressive, and outright lethal. And as I reflect on that, and I'm drawn to remember the creation story, or the stories. And particularly the second story, the story in Genesis chapter 2, where God forms the human out of the dust of the earth. And then God says, it is not good that the human would be alone. And so God makes a mate. And so God takes a rib out of Adam and makes woman, who's named Eve in the story. And a few things strike me about that. For one, the very first thing that God says about humans and humanity is it's not good that they be alone. And so often, tragically, this story is used to isolate and ostracize people, which is the opposite of the very first thing God says about what's good. And the second thing is that first human has both what we might call the masculine and the feminine within them. And so when God, in this archetypal myth, and when God makes the human has both masculine and feminine within them. And that then in separating them to be partners and to complement one another, we have these two kind of types, right, of Adam and Eve. And this notion that we are all descended from Adam and Eve could lead one to think that we all have some blend of the masculine and the feminine within us. And so that what that story makes me think of now is that we should celebrate our humanity. That humanity takes many different forms, has many different expressions, that we belong together, and that diversity and difference is life-giving. So as we think on the creation story, on how we manifest, express ourselves in the world, I invite you to think how maybe difference is good, and that maybe we have differences within us, and that these differences were never meant to isolate, but to complement, to partner, and bring together. So happy Pride Month, a blessing upon all of the beautiful and wonderful ways that God expresses and shows the divine image in humanity. Go in peace.